Chapter 1. When it turned, but the hawk was where it always was, day in, day out. The same hawk, motionless, in the same sky, in the same center of the same window. 7 days a week, if we even have weeks wherever this is. It was exactly as exciting as it sounds. Yeah, I know. This is no way to start a book. A book is supposed to start with conflict, with a hook, with some dazzling string of words and images that grabs the reader and drags him or her across the exposition and the weather and the half-assed writing and the failures of imagination and all the carpentry and infrastructure that gets slapped into place while the writer tries to think of something interesting. And if the writer isn't capable of that, he or she tacks on some half-assed prologue about a character we won't meet again for 100 pages to get the reader's attention. So see, maybe I didn't really write the 6 books that were told in my first person, but I was there as Hallinan unspooled me and all those other folks onto the page. I learned things. Not that I actually knew I was being written back then. We don't have any idea of that, none of us. The biggest, cruelest joke is that we think we're real. But I sensed it even then when things were going flat, when I wanted a sharper scene, an unexpected twist, a snappy comeback, a dame in a raincoat. I never did get a dame in a raincoat. So anyway, without even knowing it, I picked up some pointers about what makes a story happen. Okay, maybe my writer wasn't very good, but I like to think his shortcomings actually made me better, more aware of what works and what doesn't, more likely to jump in and try to tidy things up. If he'd been a better writer, I might not have figured all that stuff out. Of course, if he'd been a better writer, I wouldn't need to figure it out because I'd still be in print. But instead, I'm up here, rudely interrupted in mid-sentence. The sentence, which Hallinan was writing at the moment everything ended and the pulping machine closed its steel jaws, was for a book that he never sold. The sentence read, I lifted the door handle a tiny bit to keep it from squeaking when it turned, but... At that instant, instead of experiencing whatever was going to happen on the other side of the door, as soon as Hallinan figured it out, I was snatched upward by the nape of my neck, ending a career he had thought would eventually fill entire shelves. Instead, it lasted exactly 6 books, and then the contracts weren't renewed. But he persisted, bringing a whole new dimension to the phrase feudal gesture, downing gallons of cheap red wine and smoking his lungs into beef jerky as he took 3 whole years to write the great lost Simeon Grist novel, The Wrong End of the Rainbow. Hammering away at a mystery he never quite solved, while the 6 books that had been published went through their backward metamorphoses, turning from hardbacks with ugly covers into paperbacks with uglier covers, like butterflies that created cocoons to be transformed into caterpillars, and then, one by one, like little stars blinking out, went out of print, even the cheapest of the paperbacks. And finally, as he put my hand on that damn doorknob, the last unsold copy of the final book in the series, The Bone Polisher, a pretty good one, I thought, was pulped. Pulped. Even now, even here, the word gives me the jukes. All those books, those gratifyingly thick copies of me doing the same things over and over again with minor variations and iffy dialogue, were ripped apart, shredded, and mixed up any old way with the absolute dregs of literacy. Men's adventure magazines, coupons from Bed Bath & Beyond, instructions for assembling barbecues, faux Regency romances, and, for a specific kind of fiber, used facial quality tissue. Then the whole glop was bleached repeatedly to rid it of any traces of my friends and me, and fed into the maws of an infernal machine that pulped it, chewed it into molecules, mixed it with liquids of questionable origin, and pressed it flat to become huge rolls of newsprint. Fish wrapper, the cheapest and least durable of all the noble varieties of the world's most time-honored non-digital writing surface. Me, my girlfriend Eleanor Chan, the irrepressible Dexter Smith, my indispensable cop friend Hammond, plus all the bad guys and girls, momentary love interests, thugs and angels, suppliers of drugs, exposition, and local color, and the whole environment we inhabited, the streets of Los Angeles, the chaparral-furred folds of Topanga, all of it, our lives and our world, reduced to newsprint to carry classified ads for failing businesses, misrepresented used cars, ads for payday loan companies.